welcome back. My name is Maggie. Today I've got my Pan That Palette update for you. So this is from March's usage and I'm really excited. I finished something up. So we'll be able to talk about that, how it's changed my pan percentage, we'll color in my chart and my planner, all that fun stuff. If you're new here, hi. I am panning the Soft Glam 2 palette from ABH. This has been a go-to travel palette for me for a very long time. I love it, and I'm excited to make progress on it. So I already had a couple of pans in here before, this all started, and my goal is to use as much of it up as I can. If I don't finish it all completely, it's okay. I definitely love to see more pan in here and maybe another shade or two completed, but my goal isn't necessarily like all the way empty every pan. My goal is to use it as much as I can this year because I will be decluttering it at the end of the year. I personally don't like to keep products that are powder based more than 5 years. So this palette is coming up on 5 years in my collection this year. So at the end of the year, I will be saying goodbye. Let's go ahead and look at some progression from last month and this month. I'll put up a side-by-side comparison for you to check out. Okay, so the big exciting news is that tempera is completely gone. So that is all the way empty. I've been using it to set down my primer, as well as just a little bit of a highlight if I wanted something a little bit softer. But that one had pan when we started and now it is completely done. So that's exciting. I do have my usage here. Had 46 uses since the beginning of the year. I just had 6 more uses since last time to finish it up. So I finished this on the 12th of March. One eyeshadow done in here. Next, I'll just go across the top. I've got Dreamer. Dreamer has definitely expanded the pan. It has been my go-to lid shade quite a bit for really any look. I really like the kind of soft golden shade that it is on my lid. So last month I had used it 33 times. I have now reached 44 uses, so 11 more uses since last time. Then I've got Orange Soda here. I've used Orange Soda a total of 31 times. I don't think that there's really any visible progress. I mean, even to my eye, it looks pretty much the same. At the end, I've got Dusty Rose. Last month, I had 16 uses. This month, I have 23. I do think that there might be a little bit more disturbance in Dusty Rose than last time, just kind of where my brush has been hitting the, palette, but I'm still quite a bit from pan. Like, we're not going to see that anytime soon. Moving to the bottom row, I've got Incense. So Incense, I had 20 uses last time. I have 28 now, so I have reached for this one. I like to pair Orange Soda and Incense together. Sultry, this is a nice shimmer, and I do think that we are seeing some good wear there. So last time I had 19 uses, now I have 30. So I've been using Sultry on the outer third of my eyes, pretty much with any look. If I go for a more purpley look, it works. If I go for a more kind of orangey brown look, it works. Like, it's just been great. So that's how I've been using it. That's probably how I will continue to use it over the summer. As I get a little bit more color, I may be able to use it as an all over the lid shade, but for right now, it's staying kind of in the outer third. I did not use Mulberry at all. So that's this kind of deep, kind of burgundy shade. It's a matte. It's really pretty as a liner. I just haven't reached for it. So still at 8 uses. And then this black at the end, the Noir shade, I did have pan before we started this project. So I had 3 uses and now I had 4. So I just used it one more time. So that is where I'm at with this palette. I'm really pleased with the progress I'm making. I think Dreamer is expanding very nicely. And I think Sultry is just a couple months away from pan, which will be really exciting to see. So these are not the only shades I am working on. I do have a companion palette that I rolled in last update. So every 2 months, I'll be switching out my companion palette. This allows me to kind of breathe some new life into the Soft Glam 2 and kind of look at the shades in different ways, but also make sure that I can rotate through and at least touch all of my palettes throughout the year. So it's a little dusty. I should have wiped it down. This is the companion palette. This is all ColourPop shades from other palettes that I have decluttered and just I hold them as singles now instead of in their own palettes. So this is what it looks like. I had the goal to make sure I used every shade at least once, and I did accomplish that. So I'm very pleased. Probably will set the same goal for next time, but let's just kind of work across in rows and I can give you updates. So the first shade here is Coastline. It does already have pan on it, and this is a shade that I'm using as my inner corner highlight. So I've used it 8 times. I don't use it every day, but it is beautiful, and it just adds a nice brightness to the inner corner without too much shimmer. It's kind of like almost like an iridescent shimmer. Like, I don't really know how to explain it, but it's beautiful. The next shade here in the middle is called The Talk. This is kind of like a peachy gold shade, and I've used it 6 times. I use it on my lid predominantly. And then at the end, I have Designer Duds. I've used it once, and I also use that on my lid when I wanted just a little bit more of a peachier, a little bit darker of a look. So the next here, I've got some mattes. This one is called Boa. I've used it 7 times. It's just a nice cool tone shade. I will put this down as kind of like a transition before I go in with a purple shade, or even if I want to do like maybe a deeper brown shade. It's just a great transition just to add a little bit of blendability into the crease. Then we have Hustler, which I also use 7 times. I also use this in the same way as Boa, just kind of as a transition shade. So I'll often go in with Hustler before Orange Soda, just to add a little bit of, again, blendability and something to blend against. And then at the end, I've got Morningside, which is, this one actually pulls pretty pigmented on my skin anyway. So it looks beautiful in the pan, but like even just a little bit, that is the color you're going to get. So I have to be pretty light-handed with it, but I used it to kind of deepen out my crease one day when I wanted a little bit of a more orangey red look. So then the last shades down here, I've got Seashells, which is a shimmery green. I've used it once. I definitely would like to use it once or twice again before this companion palette leaves. And then I've got Rumored, which is a nice kind of cool tone, bronzy, taupey shade. So I've used this twice, and I use both of these as lid shades. So I think as a companion to the Soft Glam, these are working out really well. They, obviously kind of have natural pairings between the palettes, but then I also think that there are some shades that kind of make me think about the Soft Glam in different ways. So this has been really fun. I'm very pleased with the selections I made. So let's go ahead and talk about some pan percentage, and then I'll update my planner. Okay, so the end of February, my pan percentage, I had 14 pans out of 80 eyeshadows, which is 17.5%. On the 8th of March, I made a purchase and I bought 3 single eyeshadows. They're all the same. They're the Wet n Wild Brulee. These have been so hard for me to find. I don't ever see them in drugstores anymore. Never see them online available, but I did find them on Amazon. And I kind of, now I wonder, maybe they're just always available on Amazon. I don't know. But I had this moment where I was like, I'm never going to see those again. So I bought 3, which is more than I need. But I do use a shade like this every single day to set my primer. So I know I will go through these. It'll probably take me like 1 a year, but this isn't a purchase where like I'm hoping I'll use it up. I know for a fact I can use these up. So 2 of them are unopened. This one is open. This is taking the place of Tempera for me. So I'm not officially panning it, but if I hit pan, I'll share that because it'll be a part of my pan percentage. But this is kind of a utility purchase, I would say. Well, 1 was the utility and then 2 was excess. So because I bought 3 more eyeshadows, on the 8th, I then had 14 pans, but my total eyeshadows went up from 80 to 83. So that became 16.8%. And then on the 12th is when I finished up Tempera from my Soft Glam 2 palette. So then I had 13 pans out of 82 eyeshadows. So now I'm at 15.85% for my eyeshadow pan percentage, which I'm really happy with. I mean, just the fact that we're double digits, it's amazing. So 15%, almost 16%, feeling good there. So in my planner here, I have a chart that has all of the palettes and eyeshadows that I have in my collection. So I did add in Brulee, all of those. I had one Frog, which is a ColourPop shade, but then these 3 are the representation of Brulee. So that's great. And then I've got all my other palettes in here. So what I do is I do a hashed line, for example, like these, when I hit pan, and the different colors coordinate to different years that I hit pan, just so I can kind of see how many pans I hit every year, and if I hit more this year, less this year. It's nerdy. So the year of 2024 is going to be noted in blue. So for the Soft Glam 2 palette, I already had a hashed line because I hit pan and tempera, and now that I've finished it, I'm actually going to color the box all the way in. So I hit pan in 2021 because it's yellow. In 2024, I finished it all the way up. So that's what I'm going to color in here quickly. There we go. And now we're updated. So the solid is finished and then the hashed are pans. So I'm excited to hopefully see some other pans, you know, come into this palette. So it's got more color there, but very exciting that we finished one up. I knew that was going to be the first shade to go. It always is with me, but exciting nonetheless. So happy about that. And for next month, like I said, goal for my companion palette is to use every shade at least once. I think for this palette, I'd really like to maybe see if I can make a little bit more of a dent in Sultry, the shade that I'm using on the outer third, as well as in Dreamer. So Dreamer is definitely, like, it's a little bit thicker at the top and a little bit thinner at the bottom. So I have been kind of focusing my brush here at the top a little bit more to even it out. So probably just have an even, you know, I guess product, what's left of the product. I don't even know what words I'm trying to say. You know, in there. So I'm just going to focus on the top a little bit more. And otherwise, I think we're doing okay. I mean, I would love to see more pan in here, but I know that these matte shades are going to take some time. I might switch out my brush for Orange Soda just so that it's kicking up a little bit more product. I don't know. I think that would make a big difference because the brush that I'm using in Dusty Rose versus the brush they use in Orange Soda are two different types of like bristles. And the one in Orange Soda is a little bit softer. It's not as maybe dense of a brush. So I'm curious if that would make a difference. We'll see. But that is where I'm at. So goals for here, yeah, we'll just kind of keep working on Dreamer. I'd like to get more of a dip in Sultry and then use at least every shade once, specifically use Mulberry and Noir at least once this month. If I can get more, that's fantastic. But I think making sure that there's, you know, at least a little bit of usage every month to remind me of the shade and how it appears might then encourage me to use them more. We'll see. But yeah, that's where we're at. So thank you so much for watching and tuning in. I'd love to hear how your palette is going this year if you're doing one. So let me know in the comments, or if you have a video I can watch, I'd love to see it. And yeah, I will see you guys in my next video. Thank you so much for watching.